And I'll send you a link once I get everything done.
Okay.
Okay, let me go to. There we go. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. I tell you what, y'all in for a treat, cause I was. This young lady sent me her song, and off camera, she was telling me how she reached out to all the states, and I said, "How'd you find me?" She said she went from state to state. Finally, she went to Texas, and she found my radio station, and my genre fits exactly what she's singing, and so it was an honor to listen to her song. I'm not gonna steal her thunder, but I'm gonna tell you what. When I heard Dee Dee sing this song, I had flashbacks on how R&B songs used to be back in the days. And I said, that's what I'm talking about. People say, there's no good R&B artists around. I said, y'all missing the independent artists. So y'all focus on everybody else out there, but not the independent artists. So, Dee Dee, introduce yourself.
Dee Dee Cooke. I am originally from Miami, Florida, but I've been residing in Atlanta for quite some time. So I'm more of a peach slash orange now. Hello, everybody.
Peach slap. Oh, I like that. I like that. You know, um, I want to take you back to Miami. What was life like for you growing up? And when did you first realize music was going to be an important part of your life?
Oh, well, growing up in Miami was, I won't lie, it was a little rough. Um, because we stayed right around the corner from the project area. And then later on, I ended up having to move there only for a couple years. But when I first learned that music was really going to be a part of my life, I I probably was about 11 years old. Um, my aunt used to date the choir director, and he heard me humming around. I'm singing Whitney Houston that we put on the record, and he said, "You're going to be in the choir." And me, I wasn't 11 at the time, but he had me in front of the choir singing. I'm like, yeah, right.
Mm.
But then a talent show came about, and because when you're in the church, sometimes they say, "Sing, baby," and you think they just being well. Me, I was intelligent enough to understand that sometimes adults are just being nice to the kids, but I didn't think nothing of my voice until that talent show. I got in the talent show, and I won first place, and that blew my mind. I was in a newspaper article, and there was all kinds of things going on. I was like, me? I okay, maybe I do know how to sing a little bit. That
Yeah.
was the first time that I actually realized that I love music. Like I really loved music, and that I'm gonna have to have singing somewhere in my life, no matter where I am, no matter how old I am.
Mm. And to win your first competition at 11 years old, girl, I bet you was on cloud nine.
Yes, believe it or not, I don't know if you've ever heard of a rap group called The Young and the Restless. They sang a song called Poison Ivy. They were in the same exact talent show. The result was, I think Luke picked them up, and they got a record deal. They were going to
Mm.
the high school, and I thought, I must be wasn't that good. They joined the high school band, not a choir, but in college, I was in the choir at Bethune-Cookman College.
Mm. Boy, that's something else. Well, since you started singing in church, how did singing in the school choir and musicals help you shape your voice and confidence as a performer?
Well, actually, singing in the choir taught me how to basically freestyle, if that makes sense. Because and singing in talent shows, you see, The talent shows I was in after that, and a lot of times, kids are competitive, so they'll listen and see what you're gonna do, and then day of they want to do what you're doing. It's kind of like scoping out the talent, scoping out the competition. So what I would do is I sing it one way every time I sing it in front of them, and then when the day of it come, I change it up. And that taught me I practiced it a whole different way when I was at home. And the day of, I showed out. And that taught me how to kind of maneuver my voice. So instead of singing, you know, I believe the children are our future, I was like, teach them well and let them lead the way. Something like that. Instead of lead the way, just, you know what I mean? Instead of
Yeah.
just straight, I changed it up. And it taught me how to make music my own. So if I heard
Oh.
Regina Bell, Whitney Houston, or even Stephanie Mills, any one of those people, those singers growing up, I was changing the song to make it mine. I was adding words, taking away words, singing it.
You
It
know,
was the Dee Dee Cooke's song
there
by
you
the end of the
go.
song.
I use some of their words, the rest are mine. I know what you mean.
Right.
That's what some most talent shows want. They want you to be yourself, make it your own. But some people
Yeah.
want to come out and sing that song word for word. It's like they're competing against the artist. But that's not what you're doing. When you come out and make it your own, like you just said, like there was this one gentleman, I forget what show I was watching, he did a Whitney Houston song. And when he said he was going to do it, everybody said, huh? I forget which one it was, but that brother showed out on that song. He made it his own. He made it different. It wasn't that high note. He just made it his.
Yeah. You know, you make a Whitney Houston your song and you nail those notes, everybody's gonna remember it.
Oh yes. Oh
Everybody's gonna
yes.
remember it.
Speaking about that, you describe experiencing connection with artists such as Lou Ross, Ray Charles. So, what do you
Yeah.
remember most about being around artists of that caliber?
They're all different. They all have very big personalities. Mr. Rawls was the sweetest artist I've ever met in person. Most sweetest person. Mr. Ray Charles was he didn't play at all. Don't touch anything around him without his permission, without him saying, it was okay. But he was very kind to us because we were students, college students
Hmm.
during that time. You know how you see sometimes we'll see a choir go on a stage during an award show. Well, we would do those types of things, and we did it. They continuously use us, so it wasn't just like a one-time deal. We regularly sang with Mr. Rawls whenever he would come to the Orlando or Daytona Beach area, and just back him up on songs and sometimes sing duets with him. Not me, I did not do that. I wished I did, but I was right there in that number, right there next to him.
Yeah.
They were the kindest persons, and they taught me. I've seen kind, I've seen firm, and I've seen downright mean. There were some that we didn't sing with. I won't name names, that were very, very mean to us. And because they're gone to rest in peace. But I learned that, I actually learned how to be a star because we actually would have our own dressing rooms, just like them, any of our favorite snacks and, that they give you behind stage. And so I learned how to treat people. No matter what level I'm at, I'm going to know how to treat people because I know how it felt to me.
Yeah.
When I wasn't treated right, when I was treated right, and when I was being, when Mr. Ross was being kind and Mr. Ray Charles, he was being very firm,
And kind.
very kind,
Firm kind.
but very firm.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, but it was one of the best musical experiences of my life.
yeah. So you talked about being in church first, and we talked
Hmm.
about this offline. But you're right. The root of R&B is from gospel, and a lot of people don't understand that. You got your soul, you got your southern soul, your R&B, your reggae, even country soul, along with funk. All this started off in the church. And so when people was in the choir and found out they had that talent, they would leave the church. But back in those days, they downed them for taking off leave. Why are you doing reading, singing that other music? You can't do that. But I had a chart one time, and my chart put down R&B and the churches, how it split up, how R&B branched off this direction, and the other direction it branched off into jazz. And it showed the branch how it branched off, but then it brought it all up this tree. It merged together again. So no matter how much you talk, it starts out at church,
Right.
and then goes on.
Exactly.
Was lead me to this course. You know I was leading up to something, right?
Hmm.
All right. After spending years of doing background voices, what made you decide now was the time for you to step forward as a solo artist?
Well, I've always wanted to do it, but trying to get into the music business is a tough road. It's really difficult when you are trying to do it by yourself, especially a female, and a female that's not thin, because I was a larger female, and I've lost a little weight, so um, that was difficult. So oftentimes I would, my husband, he wasn't my husband back then. We were just best friends. And he was working with a few different people, so anytime he would need anybody to do anything for, like, at the studio, he would come, call me. But I've always had the within me to I just wanted to be a singer. I knew I wanted to sing. I've always wanted to sing. It's my naturally unacquired gift from God. So I feel like it needs to be shared with the world. The Bible says that your gifts will make room for you. And
Right.
so I am hoping, praying that this gift is making room for me. So I've always wanted to sing, but this here, because my husband has known that, and oftentimes some women are overlooked in the music industry. He noticed that that was happening in our circle a little bit. He said, "You know what? This is going to be about you." And not only that is, like I said, when we were offline, once he heard all of the what I was coming up with as far as my writing material within the production and everything, he's like, "No, no, no, this needs to be a solo project. You don't need to hide behind anybody else." I said, "Well, I'm not hiding." He said, "Well, you're not going to, regardless of whether you were doing it or not. You're gonna be out front this time." So he pushed me. I wanted to do it, and he's supporting me. And it's better for me now because I know more. I have support, and I also have an in-house producer that's been help me get around a little faster. So that helps. But those elements, all of those combined into one, helped me to, push me to put this album together and finally step out on faith and bet on me.
Which I have to ask you this question because I think everybody goes through this. Was there ever a moment you almost gave up on pursuing your own music?
Say no. And the reason why is because, okay, one of the reasons why, I did put it on hold. Why? Because I had a daughter and I didn't want to split up my time. I was afraid to, my mom had me when she was 16, let's just say that. And so, she's trying to live her life and grow up still while trying to raise a baby. And so there were times when I didn't have mommy time. Not all the time, but sometimes. And I wanted to make sure that my daughter didn't have to deal with that. So when I got pregnant with my daughter, I was actively pursuing a music career. I was singing probably about 4 to 5 times per week each night out, in different establishments. And then I got pregnant. And then I said, okay, I'm gonna just hold off on this. Because it was how I paid my bills too, So I had to,
Yeah.
switch gears and just make sure that I could provide for her. And then her father and I, my best friend, we ended up marrying now. But I wanted to give her that, and it worked out because she knows nothing about a hard life in any way.
Yeah.
Some people would call her spoiled. But she didn't have to go through a lot of things that I had to go through, and I didn't want that for her.
Yeah.
And once she decided she went ahead to college, I immediately got a residency and started stepping right back into the music scene.
There you go.
So
Mm.
I've been doing things, like I said, when I say residency, I was singing 1 month at a restaurant locally here for a couple of years. So I've been doing things, but they were cover tunes, and I wanted to do my own music. So
Yeah. And speak about your own music. Your music crosses soul, southern soul, R&B, reggae, country soul, and funk. How do all this musical influence come together to create the Dee Dee Cooke sound?
well, I am here in Georgia, so there's a little country in there. Um, I was raised. My mom married a Jamaican. He was my stepdad. I call him my dad. But my dad, he was Jamaican. And so those we used to watch all kinds of old Jamaican concerts on a VHS tape, watching together, and I did everything with him. Um, when I was small, of course, and then after a while they divorced, but he's always been in my life. Even though he left, him and mom split up, uh, he didn't leave me to the wayside. He made sure to be there for me. And so he's a Jamaican, Bahamian. My biological father is Bahamian. So, the island is in me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how that gets tied in. But now R&B, funk, I like George Clinton a little bit. So, he reminds me to add a little spice in my music.
Mm.
Um, And I think Southern Soul is just, I don't know if you've heard of Shirley Brown,
Yes.
um, Betty Wright. Betty Wright is
Mm-hmm.
like the cousin of one of my friends or something. She's hot in Miami. She's big. So, and of course she's from there. So they played her to death, I sang a lot of that growing up. So I was influenced by a lot of different players in the game from back in the day. My parents, my mom, and they always played vinyls, always,
Mm.
and
Yes.
and they gave us free reign because sometimes kids couldn't touch those vinyls because they'll scratch them up. But they gave us free reign to go ahead and play them, and I played a lot of them. Whitney Houston's one of my favorites. Regina Bell. Uh, yeah, those two, and Denise Williams.
Oh yes. Gotta throw the
Yeah,
niece in there.
yeah. So those are
Yeah.
my favorites growing up. Um, and that may be how I got my sound, but everybody says my sound is a little funky, especially with the guitars that you hear in
Mm-hmm.
my music.
Oh yeah, I like it. I mean, I was playing it the other day. I was just sitting around the office cleaning up, and I just threw on your whole album. I sat down and listened to the whole thing. You
Oh,
know,
really?
which is the reason why I said that, because back in the days, I'm gonna say my age. I'll be 72 years old in January. What?
Okay.
Yeah,
72.
yeah.
Okay.
So
I wouldn't have thought that.
okay. So what we used to do is we'll go out and buy an album. We'll put it on the first song and let the whole thing play while
Right.
we're doing things. Then that get finished, we flip it over, we play the other side. And
Right.
that's how we got to know the music. Nowadays, people want you to hear just one cut, that's it. No. It's got to be more than one record for an artist. That is
Right.
one reason why I support the independent artists, because they want to get out there, they want to be heard. Like we talked earlier offline when I was talking about doing a show talking about the B side. Some of the best music was on the other side of the 45.
Yeah.
But people didn't realize that. So music is out there, but you have to listen to it. Not just one song. Listen to the whole LP. And that's what we used to do back in the days. And that's how we know the music. We know the artists. We know the writers. We
Yeah.
know all that. Nowadays, it's just this and AI helping them out. Nobody does things hard anymore nowadays. I'm sorry. But if you get a pencil and a piece of paper and you start writing lyrics down, and I watched this one guy, bless his heart, is not with us anymore, but in the Chicago area, he would sit down, we'll be out somewhere, he'll write something down. I said, what are you doing? So I'm writing something down. I may need this later. Well, this knucklehead always, he turned around, got all those papers together, and had him an album that he wrote and did everything on by just writing things down. He'll put something on the shelf, say, I'll get it next time. It's not meant to be right now. And he would do that. And that was some of the smoothest R&B I have ever heard.
Yeah. When I'm trying to remember a song, like say something might pop in my head, I'll get my voice recorder on my phone and just record what I'm hearing in my head, and then later go back to it when I'm ready to, start writing something. But
Mm.
I do similar things. I don't write it down, but I record like what I'm hearing in my head.
Wow. Yeah, I can see that list of your music. I can see. So let's talk about your latest album. What is it called again?
Unapologetically Me.
See, I like
Um,
that.
yeah, it's named that because, you know, one of the things that I think everything happens for a reason in its own timing. And I was asked the question like why did it take so long for you to come out with this music? Like you're good. Why did it take so long? I said I had to, get some more experiences. And unapologetically me says exactly what my album is saying. I'm saying what I want to say, and I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but it's unapologetically what I'm thinking. Because
So,
I'm not trying to be mean.
yeah, so I'm going to jump in here because I'm going to throw something at you now. But what we came up with, well, what I came up with, what it means is you address love, relationship, family, confidence, heartbreak, humor, aging,
Mm-hmm.
and having a
Mm-hmm.
good time on this album. You're having a great time. Listen to it. So, how much of this project comes directly from your own life?
All of it. In some way. So like if you look at Take Flight sounds like it's about a person, but it's actually a double entendre. Listen to it. Then you have Thick Girl. It's a motivating song.
Let me
It's
see
about
something here.
loving yourself as a thicker female. Oh, you're listening to Take Flight. Now you're listening to it again.
I had to throw that
Yeah.
in there. I had to sit in here waiting. See, now that's what she's talking about, is that right there. And now, you heard the beginning. That's what got me. A lot of people don't realize sometimes the beginning of a song catch you, and then it holds your attention. Some songs is like a gradual. You got to get into it, which was, I'm on the road today. This one. Now, I heard that song when I listened to the first time around. It reminded me of a Alfred Hitchcock movie. There's never no ending to his movies. And the reason why he did that is leave them wanting more. Now, again, to your song, when I heard it, it had to grow. And as each beat, every second went by, it was building up. It was an anticipation. And when you hit that one spot right there, I was sold. That was it. That was it. So I call that song a creeper.
Yeah.
I call it a creeper because it creeps up on you. Next year, you out there dancing.
Yeah. You
It's one of
know,
those. It's one of those type of songs. I mean, I'm not going to try to analyze all your music. I'm being a little biased. I just love it.
thank you. I can tell you a story about each and every one of those songs on the album.
Well, hold it.
Um,
Before you say that, I don't want you to lead to my next question. You're talking about stories.
okay.
So, as one story that somebody sent me, they want to hear about Mama's song. What's the story behind Mama's song?
Mama's song. Okay, this story is my mother passed away on October 11th of 2013. She was 54 years old, going on 55. And 5 years prior, she asked me to sing a song, to write a song for her 55th birthday. Her birthday's in January. She said, I want you to write it and I want you to sing it at my party. I said, okay, no problem. I got you, mama. And that's the story. I said that she asked me and my husband to write a song. She wanted it separately, and we both had to perform it. And
Oh.
that particular song is very near and dear to my heart because when I sang it for her, I couldn't get through half the song, and she's crying at me, I love you. And I just, I also have a gospel song. So I said I wanted something that was kind of either a gospel song. I've always said it, if I ever put out an album, it's going to be a gospel song. It's going to be some kind of inspirational, something, you know, uh, it may invoke tears. And that was the song for this particular album. It was written long ago. A lot of my songs were written long ago because I would write a song and then let a few people hear it, perform it here or there, and never really do anything with it. So I really took some of my music, I took and put old music together with some new music and got this sound.
Wow. And now you have a title that's called Ain't Fun Getting Old. I just said my age. Ain't
Oh,
Fun Getting Old. Where did that inspiration for that song come from? It sure wasn't for me because you just met me.
well, at the beginning of that song, and I remember when they told me about this part. Shout out to Aunt Betty. Well, I have an Aunt Betty that passed away as well. But one of the things, if you ever had spent any, if you ever spent any time with her, you would know that that was her saying. She said, "Oh, no fun getting old." She would get so upset and say that. And recently I had a knee issue. I said, man, it's no fun getting old. Aunt Betty was right. Then I kept hearing ain't fun getting old. I said, you know what? I'm gonna write a song about that. And I ended up with, my knees out of control. I just ended up writing that song. It ain't fun getting old, no, no. Knees bad, but I still can roll. Cause no matter what, like I said, I'm from Miami. The only thing I know how to do is move my backside. So I'm still trying to do all of that, and my knees is giving out. I can't do it.
Hear that snap, crackle, and pop on the stage. You say, hey, where'd that instrument come from?
I can't do anything without holding on or
Yeah.
nowadays.
Now,
So
our WSN radio listeners are getting to know you now through Take Flight. Tell us a story that the song and what you wanted listeners to feel when they heard it. Take Flight has a smooth, grown folks R&B feel while still sounding contemporary.
yes,
Was that sound intended?
yes, that it actually was. I call that one my kind of crossover song. Some people think it's a soul song or an R&B song, and for me, I'm a singer. I sing it all. But the inspiration behind Take Flight, my husband had a stroke, and he came home. He called me one night while he was visiting the neighbors and asked me if I wanted to partake in some things, and I said, sure, I'll try. So, because I know he ain't gonna do anything to harm me. I trust him. So, in the song is when you came around, I was a little shy. met in the park. Because what we did was we went to the park because we were so, it's so taboo that we went to the park. And that was in 2017. And we looked around like, is there anybody around? Whispering like we're not the only ones in the park late at night. And like I said, that right there, what made me, believe it or not, I heard a song by, I think, was The Weekend. And I said, I'd like to make a song like that and trick some folks, and they'll think it's just about love, but it really isn't just about love. It's about love or something else.
Yeah.
But anywho, you have to listen to the words and then you'll catch it.
I'm gonna play that when we get off air, and I'm listed. And I'm gonna call you and say, "Girl, you're right." So,
Don't throw it away.
yeah, let's shift gears a little bit. The reason why I
Uh-huh.
want to do that, as an independent artist, what has been the biggest challenge in getting your music heard, and what does support from independent radio stations mean to you?
Oh man. Can I start with the second question? That means the world to me.
Yes.
It means the world. Um, I've been sending out my press kits to many radio stations. At first I was just blindly sending it out. But again, it's only me. I don't have a big team. So then I said, no, you can't go to London to do no shows or right now. So you probably want to start local. So then I said, no, no, no. I started sending to Georgia and moving out. So for me, but I happened to send it to one of the independent radio guys in London, and I didn't even know. I just knew the radio call sign, but I didn't know it was physically located in London. This was before I started getting more state focused. And he responded with, "This is the best. Where have you been?" And I said, "Oh." And I, I didn't realize how many people, when I started getting that response from a few people, and I haven't gotten many, but I've gotten enough to know that it's not just me, and that this is to me the grassroots way of getting everyone to hear my music. It's not, you don't need, or I won't say need, you don't have to go the big route each time. Now, what was that first question you asked me?
Oh, yeah, I was. Oh, as an independent artist, what is the biggest challenges in getting your music out, being heard?
Getting big radio to acknowledge that you actually have a nice song and they're going to play it. And also, when I wasn't on social media a lot. I mean, I would post every so often, and so now with me having to do everything myself, I'm posting and building my brand as we speak. And I can tell you that all of my numbers, of course, have gone up because I'm actually paying attention to it. But the challenge is doing it a new way, because back in the day, it wasn't this way. You couldn't just go online and look at somebody's email and send it to them, send them your songs. You had to send it through mail. Um, you had to take it up there, and then you hope that they're going to have time for you. But now I can just send it, and that's one of the things that technology has knocked out. But still, the challenge is that with shows and trying to get yourself known, that is the hardest thing as an independent artist. So I have to lean on my vocals, my voice, and my music, and pray that it is good enough for not just independent radio stations or podcasts, but for anyone to say, you know what, this young lady needs to be heard all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
I've had independent artists say, I mean, not artists, radio stations say that to me, but the challenge is getting the bigger stations. You know, people don't say it, but usually do want some type of recognition,
You
you
know,
know?
what I like, when you sent me the song, I listened to it and I replied back to you. And you turn around and reply back to me within 5 minutes. I said, "Ooh, she's on the ball." Because sometimes it take 2, 3 days somebody to reply. I'm the type of
Yeah.
person now. I will admit sometimes I'll miss something, but most of the time when it come in, if I see music, I'm gonna drop what I'm doing to play and listen to that 5 or 10 minutes, whatever it is of that song. I'm gonna listen to it. Then if I listen to it again, then that means I'm interested in it. But I listen to it now. I'm not gonna lie to you. I listen to some songs going one time. It does not fit the station. Especially I get people send me bluegrass music. There's nothing wrong with bluegrass. That's just not my
No, it's
style.
not.
There's
Right.
there's nothing wrong with any music that come out, but it's not fit for the station. But when you
Right.
sent me your song and I looked at the lyrics, I said, "Oh, that sounds like jazz." That's what I thought. I thought of what's his name with Flight Time.
Mm-hmm.
That I can't think of the guy's name. Donald Byrd, is it Donald Byrd? I can't remember his name, but that's what I thought. It's gonna be something like Flight Time, the jet taking off and all this. And I sat down listening to that. I was actually bobbing and weaving my head to the song first time I heard it. I said, okay. So I heard it again, and I listened to it again, and the third time that's when I emailed you. And
Okay.
you emailed me right back, thanks. And then we started. We had I'm gonna call it a itty bitty email war. We were going back and forth, and then I said, you know what? I'm gonna get her on my show. I'm gonna see if she want to come on my show. I don't think you took 5 minutes to reply to that either.
Yeah,
But
I'm on my phone on my computer every day, almost every night until at least 1 a.m. sending out radio press packages. I work from home for right now, and while I'm at home, I am doing that simultaneously while working.
yeah,
So I'm steadily doing it, so I'm checking email all the time. As soon
yeah,
as something comes in, I see it. Unless I've got somewhere to go, I'm not at home. But
right.
most times I'm gonna see it. That's why it'll come back so fast, because I was writing emails. I'm
Oh
like, oh
well,
no.
I enjoy that and all that. Now we're gonna continue talking. I got one last question, but I wanted to get into a freestyle conversation after this last question, if you don't
Okay.
mind.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Dee Dee. Every song has a story. Every story has a soul. At this point in your life, what story are you most proud of to finally be able to tell?
Hmm. That I was finally able to put some fresh new music out, and the world can see it. My family can see it, and forever my music will be out there in the world. I've left my stamp. That is the one that I'm proud to tell as far as my music is concerned.
Oh, I like that. Right to the point. Well, that's what the question was, right? So we will ask questions, and my style of interview, yeah, questions are okay because people want to know what's going on. I call this part of the interview that we're being real. We're
Right.
being real. We just talking. We're being real. I don't get too personal because I'm not that type of person that do things. I could care less about all that. I just want to know, with you being out there in Atlanta, doing everything out there in the ATL, how's that affected you spiritually and personally?
It hasn't affected me spiritually per se. Well, maybe, you know, being in Miami, growing up there, unfortunately, life was a little difficult. And when I say that, it's a little rough for a kid sometimes, depending on where you live. And where I lived is rough. So, your attitude, just like in my song Take Flight, that's why I say every song comes from me. My attitude was on 10. Like if someone sometimes could look at your shoes, I like your shoes, they might be trying to rob you, you know? So coming to Georgia, transitioning over to Georgia, the atmosphere, the camaraderie, the people, the culture. It's just different. There, everybody's good morning. Why are you saying good morning so much? I wasn't used to it when I was younger. Um, but I've gotten used to it, and it's become a way of life to be kind to people. Being here in Georgia helped me to have a better attitude toward people, and everybody's not out to get you. You know, it was difficult. I just can That's the only thing I could tell you, to not think that sometimes it wasn't a festival we could go to that wasn't being shot up or something, all those types of things. You see those things as a kid. So when you become an adult, you on, you kind of on notice. You're try not to get caught slipping. You want to make sure you're okay. You're very protective of yourself. But I found that when being here in Atlanta, I don't have to have that big shield up as much, and I can relax and be me and love a little bit more, love easier, better, deeper. I'm not saying you can't in Miami, but I'm saying, having my attitude be too high and, you know,
Yeah.
just, I don't have to do that. And luckily I came here at what, age 19. So I came here long ago, but it took a while to get that Miami stuff out of my head. But being here in this atmosphere has helped my spirituality. In Miami, I was what they call a free will Baptist, and they had these denominations.
Hmm.
The church I go to now is non-denominational, and they believe like I believe, where God says, "Come as you are." you know. So it's a lot of things. And being away from my mom, I have family here, but not a lot. I was able to really just be me. It gave me
Yeah.
space to be me and to be kind and to be silly and have a happy dance if I get happy, you know.
Happy. I haven't heard that in a while. I got a happy dance.
I
Uh,
do.
and everybody need to
Yeah,
be
very.
happy at times. Some people just not happy, or they, this is the part I don't get. Some people are afraid to show their true feelings.
Yeah.
They want to live this facade that this is how I am. No, you're not. I knew you growing up. You ain't like this. Now, I told somebody
Yeah.
the other day, what you see right now out of me, you seen it 10 years ago. I haven't changed. I'm still the Ron that would drive you batty. I'm still the Ron that look at you funny when you do something crazy. I'm still that one. And a lot of people don't let their hair down. They
Yeah.
get stuck in this how just like magazines. Let's say this is the ideal woman on how the shape, clothes, and everything it is. I'm sorry. We all come in all shades and all sizes. We cannot be that. We can be the best that we could be to our own ability, not to nobody else's.
Yeah, you said the exact thing that my mother taught me growing up, which is what inspired Thick Girl. My song Thick Girl. It's a
Mm,
motivational song because I was teased as a guy. I was a heavier little young little chunky little thing growing up. And my mother taught me there was nothing wrong with it.
yep.
She said it's okay. It's okay to be your size. If God meant for us to be the exact same size, we all have the same hair, same eyes, same everything. We have a nose, but it's perfect for us. You
Right.
understand? So, she taught me that it was okay to be yourself. And I took that and ran with it when I got to Atlanta.
Hey, y'all, I
I
myself,
did.
look out.
I'm telling
There's a
you.
new girl in
I'm
town.
telling you.
Just like when you said that, I always got this thing I say all the time. People know I say it. It's when somebody look at you different and want to know why you like this, how they. This is my saying. The problem's not the problem. The problem is your attitude about the problem. And then they get quiet. Say, what did you just say? That's okay. That went over your head. You weren't paying no attention. Because when you tell somebody that I'm not the problem, you're the problem. You don't like what I'm doing. And
Yeah.
and I used to come back and say, I could care less what you're doing because you're living your life.
Right. I got to live mine. Listen, I got so much stuff going on in mine. I can't worry about yours. So you got to live yours.
That point, and you ain't paying my bills.
That part. I understand that. One of the things I says is you can always understand, but that doesn't mean you have to like what you understand. And some people just don't like what they understand, even if they do understand.
Just like we with the old saying, say we could agree to disagree. Let's move on.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to stop being friends because you disagree with that person says.
Right. I've always thought that a friendship really stands the test of time when you can not like what they are saying, not always agree, and still be friends and know
Mm-hmm.
how to not get upset and still be friends.
You know what's funny? We just said that. So if you have a little argument or something, a little disagreement, and you know it's the person you had disagreement with, when y'all go out together again, they try to pull that same thing again. They look at you, and they stop and won't do it. So you did have an influence on them on that right there, or else they would have done that. Now the worst thing you could do is say, "See, I told you that. Just leave it alone." Sometimes leave it alone. They know. Just you ain't got to remind them all the time because people get irritated. And the way things are nowadays, you can't afford to irritate nobody because they do some stupid stuff.
This is true. It's so true.
You
Like I said, eh, I have a whole bunch of different sayings that I have, that I use. But the one of the main things is I meet you wherever you are. I give you the same energy you give me. You giving me happy energy, I give you happy energy. You give me bad energy, I'm probably gonna leave you alone, or I'm gonna try to encourage you if I see there's a need.
mm,
But other than that, um, I, I still have my shield up, but it's now just very selective. I'm just very selective about who I allow to come into my circle and
thank
disrupt
you.
anything I got going on.
Thank you. I love the way you said that. I have my circle, and if you get in my circle, it's a good thing. But if you're that crazy, as fast as you came in, you can leave.
You get out.
Bye.
Yeah.
Because all it takes is one negative person to come in your circle and destroy it. And,
Yeah.
and so it's a crying shame. We got to look out for that nowadays because they're out there. They're out there just to destroy. And once they finish, they move on to the next one. I would
Yes.
say I'm giving Eminem a little credit right here, but he talked bad about himself for all the other rappers did.
Yes, he
That's
did.
what made him unique in his style. He talked bad
Yeah.
about himself, so what else can anybody say that he haven't said?
Right. I think also Biggie Smalls did the same thing.
Yes.
He said, "Black and ugly as ever."
Yeah.
Like who gonna call him ugly now?
Yeah. And you're right. Biggie did do that too. Because once you go in, like for instance, if you go somewhere and somebody said, I seen you with so and so and so and so last night, they're waiting for you to deny it. So they come back with all the other stuff. I said, yeah, I was there. I didn't see you there. Where were you? They don't have
Yeah.
nothing else to say.
Take away their power.
You admitted it. Yeah, I was there. And your point,
Yeah.
I ain't got nothing to hide.
Absolutely. You taking away their power. And that's one of the things that my mom, when I was teased, I was teased because I was a little chunky, and I had long pretty hair and I wouldn't let anybody touch it. And my mom, I would come home crying. She said, "Don't you come home crying not another time about somebody talking about your size." She said to me, "Why are you upset about something somebody is saying that is true? Why are you getting
Ooh,
upset about something you know is true? Does
ooh,
it hurt you? And if it's true and you can change it, why aren't you changing it?"
ooh. Good talk. Good
That's what
talk.
my mother would say. She said, "You either change it or you tell them, I can change my weight. What can you do about your face?" Say,
Ooh.
she was like, "You say something like that." I was like, "Oh, mommy, I'm gonna say that."
Yeah. Eh,
But she was very, very matter of fact, and she would tell me, don't get upset about things that are true. If no matter what, if people are gonna say things that are true to upset you, so what? If it's true, own it.
mm-hmm.
And I think that's where my part of the idea for unapologetically me because that's me. I own it. Like if I did something, a woman of dignity, I'll tell you, hey, I did that.
Yep.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
you know, I try if I know that I did something, I'll try to be accountable for what I say and do.
That part you just said, and I agree with your mom saying that she did some real talk, some tough love with you, and
Mhm.
that's what we need more nowadays. Because somebody come say something negative to me, I say, "Oh, really? I didn't know I was doing that. Tell me when I'm doing it again." I
Yeah,
tell me when I do it again. I'll do it more often if it irritates you. You know, I would say something like that, and when I do, they look at you like, "Does anything hurt his feelings?" And I look at it and say, "Feelings is meant to be hurt."
Yeah, my mom would tell me that all the time. So, she was as you can probably tell, she's a big influence. She raised me primarily alone. I had my stepdad, but they couldn't get along, I guess. I don't know what happened because they didn't discuss it with me. I just know that one day he was there and the next thing you know, he was gone. But he stayed in my life. And other than that, it was just my mom and my grandmother and, family. But primarily she was raising me by myself. So I said, Mommy, why did you raise me this way? She said, I wanted you to go into the desert without any clothes on and come out with a chinchilla wrapped around you.
Mm.
I wanted you to be all right. And so she raised me to be a little tougher. I'm the oldest, so I had to be, and
Yeah.
I had to just stand up for myself and make sure that if somebody's teasing me, don't worry about it. It's just words.
Yeah.
It's only words. My grandmother, when my mama was saying to tell them this, my grandmother would say, sticks and stones may
Man,
break your
your
bones,
bones.
but words
Words
will
can
never
never
hurt
hurt
you. And
you.
you can kill more flies with honey than you do with vinegar.
Oh boy, them old sayings, man. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right. You're right. So I said, but I do got one last question before we get out of here.
Yes, sir.
You sort of had that when you were talking. So let me ask you something.
Hmm.
Say something to people out there that nobody knows about you. What is something that people don't know about you?
There's a lot of things people don't know
Oh,
about me.
wow. Let me see what time it is. We got plenty of time, girl. You want to stop at 6? I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Well, let's see. What people don't know about me. Ah. I don't know. I don't know if I want to say all of that. I would say something nobody knows about me is that I also bake. I'm a baker.
Really?
Yes, I love to bake. That's when I'm not singing. I like just before we were on this interview, my husband said, "Oh, I want some brownies." And anytime he says, I think that's what got him because it.
Oh, wait, hold. Did you say brownies? I'll bring the milk.
Yeah. I'm a baker. I have a baking business as well, but baking is one of the things that I like to do. It's something I used to do with my mother.
You know,
We
I'm
were
at.
going to start a business before she died,
Yeah.
and I continued on. And I don't know if it's in her name, but it may be a combination of me loving it and in her name as well.
Yeah. Oh, wow. You're going to make me to make it. I know we just came from Atlanta. We went there for our 15th wedding anniversary. And
Oh, well,
we,
happy anniversary.
thank you. We're down by what is it called? Centennial Park? Is that the name of where the Olympics were at?
Centennial Park.
Yeah, we had a hotel close there. Everything was close by to walk and everything,
Yeah, that's
and yeah,
downtown.
and I liked it. I really did like it, and like you said, people were friendly there, and it was real nice. And I have to come back there. When I come back there,
Yeah.
I'm gonna look you up and say, besides your husband, can you bake your new friend some brownies too?
Yeah, he loved brownies, cookies, cakes, pies, all of that stuff.
Hmm.
I make
You know,
like
it's funny that you said that because every once in a while I get a little wild hair, And I got up a couple mornings, like 4 o'clock in the morning. I get up at 5 anyway to do my show at 7, getting prepared. But I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I got up a few times making 4 dozen oatmeal raisin walnut cookies. And
Wow.
my wife said, I don't know what he's doing this for. We're not feeding the whole family. But she take it to her job and give them to her. Who baked these? My husband. He got 4 o'clock in the morning making these cookies. But I get a wild hair and I want to bake that, or a cherry pie. Every once in a while, I'm not the best baker in the world, but some of the recipes is from my grandma, because I was the oldest grandson and I was in the kitchen all the time. And I watched her. She never measured anything. I can't remember a time the grandma measured any area, pinch here, pinch there, and I'm sitting just watching her.
Right.
I didn't know watching her would rub off on me.
You see?
Yeah.
It rubs off because my grandmother used to bake these coconut cakes. That was one she liked doing a
Oh.
lot. And like a caramel cake
Oh.
and German chocolate. And all of those are cakes that most people don't always hear about.
Mm.
But those right there, and my husband loves the pineapple upside down. I know nothing
Oh.
about these cakes.
Oh
So,
man.
you know,
Girl, you
that's
need.
one of the things that I love about baking is like if I see a new recipe, I will stop in my tracks, whatever I'm doing, and go in that kitchen. I gotta make this. It's a passion of mine. I love to bake, and I
Okay.
like what I like most is when someone tastes it, and then they do this when they eat it,
Oh.
and their eyes closed and everything's trembling. Oh, I love that reaction.
My reaction, I go sit down somewhere 'cause I ain't sharing with nobody. Me, my cake is going over there in the corner. When I get finished, I come get another piece with a glass of milk, and I'm good.
Yes, and I have to make sure my husband has ice cream. So it's milk
Yes.
or ice cream. It's milk for the cookies and ice cream for the cake.
There you go.
Look,
Look at
that is
this.
something
Look at
that
this.
nobody knows about me.
See? See?
Um, Not worldwide.
Okay. Well, you know what, Dee Dee, it was a pleasure talking to you. We could go on because I
Likewise.
want to talk about some greens and some fried chicken, all that stuff you used to cook back in the days. But we'll do that on another time. We'll definitely do that another time. In the meantime, I got your music. It's in my rotation on Saturday afternoons. Um,
Okay.
and then once my morning show, I'm rebooting my morning show. October 7th will be the relaunch of it,
Okay.
I'll probably get a hold of you then to set some time out then for you to be a guest on the show,
Okay.
and we'll do some things like that because I do want to keep you in mind and everything that you're doing. This has been one of the best interviews I don't had in a long time.
Oh,
I
thank
tell
you.
you, cause
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
yeah.
The support, it goes a long way. It just encourages me to keep pushing and to keep moving and keep doing what I'm doing because somebody's getting it, somebody's hearing it and liking it,
Mm-hmm.
um, or even loving it. So it just encourages me. So I thank you so much. It really, it goes a long way. You just don't know.
Okay. Before we leave, give everybody information about your new album, how to get a hold of you, how they can follow you, how they can contribute to what you're doing.
The best way to contribute to what I am doing is to support me by going to my website, taking a listening to some of my music, and purchasing it if you like it, or no, if you love it or like it. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Dee Dee Cook Music, either one of those, and follow me. Keep up with me because I have some shows that might be coming up. And if you want to see me live, then that's the only way you're going to know is to go on either Facebook or my website. My website is www.ddcook.com, and my all of my socials and whatever streaming platforms I am on are in the top right hand corner of my website. So you should be able to get to pretty much any one of those from there. But like I said, the it's always great when you get the support. So of course I'm gonna say if you purchase my album, that would be great.
Okay.
you know, But but if not, I understand. Everybody can't. Not right now, you know. But I think that if you feel anything is most important to me. If you feel anything when you hear my music and you're inspired to buy, that's the most important. Because my music, I want it to make you feel something.
And it will, y'all. It will. I'm letting you know from experience, it will. Listening to it, and if you one of the old school people out there, oh yeah, you definitely love this. This is right up your alley. Her genre is right there, where you could sit back and remember Rolls Royce. You know, you
Yeah.
remember? I mean, Rolls Royce, wishing on a star and do the dance. All that reminds you of that. So matter of fact,
Yes.
you could take down, you get her music, you could mix it with the '70s, '80s music. You wouldn't even tell.
And
That's how good that soul food music is. See, I call it soul food music.
yes, it is very soulful. And
Yeah,
you can hear I was in high school band and you can hear that. That's a big influence in my music if you hear it.
yeah.
Yeah. I was in high school band and it really influenced a lot of the horns and things like that. So it makes it sound like big band and that's what everybody
There you
tends
go.
to love, not just the track.
Yeah. All right, young lady. Boy, see, we don't win over, but that's all right. I don't care. I don't care. But anyway, we appreciate you coming on. Keep on doing what you're doing. Keep me updated anything you got going on. And if you're gonna sing live somewhere close San Antonio, or if you ever in San Antonio, look me up and let me know what's going on over in Atlanta where you at. Let me help you out, pushing the information out there. I'll be more than happy to make sure everybody know who you are.
Thank you, and thank you so much once again for inviting me to be on your show. It was a pleasure.
Okay. You take care. We'll talk to you later.
We'll talk soon.
Okay.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Recordings.
All right, everybody. You seen it. You heard it. That was our girl, Dee Dee Cooke, there in Atlanta, Georgia. And boy, she had a lot going on there. We really did enjoy her. And this is DJ Ron G. Don't forget, we'll be rebooting WSM Radio coming in the near future. We're getting some things together. We got some new things happening. So just keep on listening to us. The music's still playing. Every once in a while, I'll jump on with interviews and some other stuff that's going on around town. Until then, peace and chicken grease. DJ Ron G, WS.